Good morning. Welcome to Bull City Hangout 718. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper, which you can read at durhamskywriter.com. So the Bull City Hangout, I tell you what's happening today, and in this case tomorrow, here in Durham, and then I invite you to join me on camera and shoot the breeze or share information, etc., etc. Let me put the link here for joining me on camera. I'm going to make my announcements first, of course. And a huge shout out to Chicago jazz fans. This is the radio station I grew up listening to, WBEE, RIP. It was owned by Mr. Charles Sherrill. It was a rarity. It was a Black-owned radio station, and he worked so hard to keep it going. It was a great inspiration. Guy Cook is here from Walla Walla, Washington. All right. That is mentioned in the Chicago Cubs theme song or jingle. Walla Walla, Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a ball game. Anyway, yes. So let's do Bull City Hangout. And you're welcome to join me, Guy, if you'd like to later on. We'll make these quick announcements. Now, the cover story for the Durham Skywriter, very often I neglect to mention it, but it is old school street games, and that's the games that we played on the streets on the south side of Chicago back in the 1960s, and it was so much fun. Our parents would all sit together, and the parents on the block, sipping adult beverages and watching us smoking and watching us play in the streets, all these really super fun games. I'm just going to list them. Basically, I tell you how to actually play them. I have the rules, how to choose who's it. So Simon Says, hide and seek. And again, I'm leaving it up to the parents. I know some people might say, oh, this is insensitive. The kids can't go out and play. Some kids can. There's a family down the block. I just love these kids. There's 3 kids and they play together so beautifully. So there are some families with more than one kid. There are some families that are playing, with cousins that are able to play together. So I will leave it to the parents' discretion to decide whether to use this information on the cover page here about the old school games. Again, Simon Says, hide and seek, Mother May I, there's so much fun. Red Rover, because you need a bunch of kids for that. Red Light, you only need 2 kids for that at the minimum. Freeze Tag, and again, I tell you how to choose who gets to be it. And I have a couple of rhymes that we use. And also, a reader named Cheyenne suggested that I add Double Dutch and Piggy. Now, I observed Double Dutch. I was very uncoordinated as a little kid, but Piggy was my game, and I can't believe that I forgot that. So I will be adding that. Thank you, Cheyenne. My dad grew up in Chicago as well on the south side, and he said in his day, Piggy was called Piggy One Stop. And it's a kiddie version of baseball, and it's super fun, and it requires no skill whatsoever. So I just loved it. So let's go to the word page. That is the nonprofit and governmental information page. Just wanted to point out a couple of things. Yesterday was a rough day. I'm just going to say there were a lot of posts on Facebook. People are going through a rough time. I'm aware of it. We're dealing the best we can. Let's just put it that way. So I just wanted to point out this one thing. The American Red Cross, which has classes that are online and in person, and of course they all cost because actually, it's a business, right? But they do have something here. Check out the list of classes on the word page. At the very bottom, the last class that's listed is a free class, and it's called Psychological First Aid, Supporting Yourself and Others During COVID-19. So that is super, super important. People are in need of support and encouragement. So see if you want to go over that this weekend and see if you can help yourself, your family, your friends, and others. All right. Let's see what else is on the word page. Oh, Monday is the deadline for this City of Durham project. It's the Cultural and Public Art Program. They're going to be erecting about 11 bus shelters in Durham. They need the aid of artists, who hopefully will be designing these bus shelters or decorating them, whatever the correct word is. This is for money. Okay, so it's not just the cultural and public art program, it's also the Department of Budget and Management. So this is not just for exposure, this is for money. So they're looking for artists and artist teams. The deadline is Monday, right before midnight. So read about the project here on the Word page and get those designs in, get your paperwork together. And also, I think you need a couple of 3 references as well. So you need to ask permission to list references. So you might want to get to work on that if you haven't already, got a couple of days. Actually, 3 days should be enough to get a really nice design together. So do that, please, and let me know if you're chosen. Okay. Also, let's see. Yes, this is if you want to curl up with so get some good reading in. The City of Durham wants our help. The Transportation Department would like for us to look at the Move Durham Transportation Study. It's all about downtown, all about creating the perfect downtown for walking, I guess, scootering, wheelchairing, strolling, taking a bus, just moving people around for shopping and work downtown. So the deadline for giving your feedback is this coming Friday. Also, I would like for you to know about the Water Hardship Fund, City of Durham. You need to document that you do it online. It's an online application process. They can help you up to $240. So hopefully that will catch you up with your water bill. So if you need that help, get it. Act now. Also, let's see. I wanted to tell you about DSS, Durham County Department of Social Services. They have an emergency fund for people who are having problems meeting their rental payments, making their rent payments, and also mortgage payments, not just for renters, mortgage payments as well. This is for people whose jobs have been adversely affected by COVID-19. Some people have been laid off. I know people have been furloughed and laid off and actually lost their jobs. So the county wants to help. So get the help. You can get the paperwork together over the weekend and make that phone call on Monday. The number and everything that you need for the paperwork listed right there on the Word page. So definitely do that. Don't get too far behind with your payments. Also, just wanted to mention, Durham County Library is not open, but they do have restricted hours for pickup. So you can go online and choose the books, CDs, DVDs. If the kiddies are tired of the same old movies and you don't have Disney Plus, you can pick up. Actually, you can go online right now, and you have until, let's see, today's Saturday. You have until 2 o'clock to pick up. I don't know if it's automatic like same day. I don't know. But we can find out, can't we? Anyway, even if you can't do this today, during the week, there's pickup hours, just a few hours available, like, for example, 2 to 6. That's not bad. So anyway, you can read all about it on the Word page. And also, they just announced no more fines for getting materials back to the library late. That's wonderful. What else is here on the Word page? I think it's pretty much it. Oh, yeah. Well, that's on the Let's Go page as well. So I'll read that one on the Let's Go page. Let's go to the Garden Shed page real quick to read about the Citizen Science Adventure online series. It's run by the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, and the Prairie Ridge Eco Station. They'll be co-hosting Moths at Night Goes Virtual. This is a citizen science adventure where you can learn about how to identify various moths. And some moths are actually beautiful like butterflies. So this is going to be late tonight. It's going to be 9 until 11. So that should be really, really fun. It's going to be online, of course. And of course, it's free. So read about it on the Garden Shed page. Now let's go to the Let's Go page. That's the last page we'll be visiting today. That is the calendar of events page. And going on right now, and you know it's going to be in the 90s today. So you might want to head out now. Go to the Durham Farmers Market, which is in Durham Central Park. They're open until noon. The Durham Craft Market, same place, same time, open now until noon. Durham Central Park, they're across the street. Also, the South Durham Farmers Market, they're open until noon. They are south on Highway 55 in the Greenwood Commons Shopping Center. That's at Highway 55 in Sedgwick. And the Durham Roost Farmers Market, this might not work for you today, but just to let you know for next week that they are no longer in Brightleaf Square. So what they want you to do is to go online, check out what's available from the different farmers, and then you make your order. So they don't have a spot anymore. So you make your order online, and then they allow you to pick up your order from Mount Bethel Presbyterian Church on Rose of Sharon Road, and that's going to be on Saturdays from 10 until 11. So you probably can't do that today, but you can do it next week. Also happening today, ICNA Relief and 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 𝗖𝗓𝗧𝗬, they're co-sponsoring a drive-through fresh produce pickup. And I got my produce a couple of weeks ago. So it's in the park. It's sort of like in the parking lot. So you turn in, they're right across the street from Chicken Hut and right next door to Food Lion. So you turn in like you're going into the masjid, and then they have young people directing traffic, and you kind of go around the building. Then they ask you how many people are in your household. I said one, of course, and I got a big box just full of produce and potatoes, all kinds of yummy items. So you might want to do that starting at 2 o'clock. They'll be out there for a couple of hours. So again, that's at 2 o'clock, at the 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 𝗖𝗓𝗧𝗬. Now, this is only at the Fayetteville Street Masjid. They do have one in Parkwood, but this is happening only on, Fayetteville Street. Also, I think this is the last item. Yes, this is the last item. Tomorrow, New Visions of Africa Restaurant, which is next door to W.D. Hill on Fayetteville Street, they have a grocery giveaway. As you know, during the week, they give away meals. But on Sundays, we're talking, it's like grocery shopping. I mean, they lay it out. I mean, they have these picnic tables just full of foods and items and stuff. And they give you a bag. Actually, you might want to bring your own bag. But anyway, get a bag and you just go through. It's wonderful. If you are in need, stop by there. It's going to be on Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock, but you must get there at 12:30. Two things you must do. Get there by 12:30 and sign up. All they want to know is your name and your age. I guess I guess they have to turn that into the government just to show that they're serving people. So your name and your age, get there by 12:30 and do that. Also, you must wear a mask because you will be in really tight. People are going to be in line. There are a lot of people in need. The lines get kind of, serious. And then you will be in close to people as you gather your groceries. So, got to wear a mask. And again, that starts at 1 o'clock. Be there at 12:30. That's pretty much it. It's good. It's 81 right now. It's sunny. It's actually perfect for going to the farmer's market or taking a nice walk, which I think I'll do. I haven't taken a walk in a long time. It's going up to 93. We might have thunderstorms mid-afternoon. And again, Curtis is here. Yeah, come on and join me if you have a second there, Curtis, if you'd like. Tomorrow is going to be 93, and it's going to be stormy, maybe. In fact, let me see if it's going to be in the afternoon or not. Let's see. Let me see about, wrong app. AccuWeather. Let's see. Afternoon, let's see, Sunday, yeah. So we might have an afternoon thunderstorm in spots. So we'll see about that. So mid-90s tomorrow, lower 90s today. Yeah, it's hot. So if nobody wants to join me, I'll just hope that you have a wonderful day. Hope that you have a wonderful weekend, in fact. I'm going to go out and take a walk. I know it's a little humid, but my little legs have not moved in about a week. Although I did cut the grass yesterday, and that was kind of strenuous. I enjoyed that. So anyway, enjoy your weekend. If you don't want to join me, let me give a countdown like I like to. Oh, Guy Cook. I was going to give my countdown. Here is Guy Cook. Let's see what's up with Guy. Hi, Guy.
Hi.
What's new?
I just wanted to comment that you have great eye contact as you're doing your show. I waited all this time to tell you
Wow,
you're
really?
doing that part of the television side of my life. They said always look at the camera, make sure that you're engaging that person that's watching, and you do a great job of that. Now go for a walk.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's something that
Yeah,
I'll
bye.
work on. Have a good weekend, guy.
Oh, we're gonna.
All the way from Washington State. I appreciate that. I mean, it's something that I work on. I see people. Actually, let me just make an invitation. Just an open invitation for the future. A lot of people are afraid to do what I'm doing. I know it's kind of scary at first. It's actually fun because on Facebook you're talking to your friends anyway. I can't imagine any really strangers finding this show. So, with that being said, I invite you to let me click on comments. There's another comment. Oh, Jesse's here. Hey, Jesse, happy to have you here. Here's my thing. So, because I'm talking to friends, as you know, this is Facebook, and of course I'm on YouTube as well right now. There's probably no strangers watching. So, if you want to try this is a good place to try. Coming on the air in front of the camera and talking. This is very casual. This is not a formal interview if you wanted to jump in and join me on camera. So I definitely invite you. You don't have to be in or from Durham, obviously. I mean, Guy Cook is Washington State. So I invite you to think about it. Like you might say to yourself, boy, I wanted to do some live streaming for my business or my church. I wanted to make some announcements because I sell stuff and I wanted to do this and that. I'm thinking about maybe doing a webinar, but I'm shy or I'm afraid or I look crazy. Don't worry about it. If you want to try your hand and see how you look with no pressure, come on, Bull City Hangout. Try your hand at it because it's actually fun. Just a quick story, then I'm going to go. But there's I won't mention Cynthia's name, but there's a young lady who works at Durham Parks and Recreation, and I was trying to get her to come on my radio show. When I first started out, I was with WNCU here in Durham at North Carolina Central University, and I couldn't get her on the show because she was shy. And I said, "Come on, it's your job. Come on." So finally, she came on the show, and as soon as it was over, she said, "Ooh, that was fun. When can I come back?" So once you do it for the first time, in front of people, talk, oh, Jesse's here, then you realize there's really not that much to it. Let's see what's going on with Jesse now. What's new, Jesse?
Hey, Jesse. I'm learning from you and all your friends who are doing this. This is great.
Isn't it fun?
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to learn how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, I use StreamYard. And
that's the little duck up there, right?
Right. StreamYard is the platform. And it's not free, although you can try it for free. You can definitely try it for free.
Okay.
But if you wanted to do what I'm doing and have it, appear on Facebook and YouTube, et cetera, then you'd have to buy in. It's a couple $100 a year, which is not bad at all, actually, for what you get. And they have all these tutorials.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
They have a Facebook community page, StreamYard community page. You can ask questions. So many people are helpful. They'll just jump in and just help you, So.
Okay. Yesterday, one of my cohort from NCCU, that's where I studied history, and another former history student like me contacted me through Facebook. And he's interested in starting something like an education community networking sort of thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I want to get him interested in hanging out with you if that, if
Sure,
that's
he can try his hand at being in front of the camera. Yeah, and also let him know that he can screen share. So if he's doing like educational kind of things, he could, show off what's on his computer in terms of photos, graphs, whatever. Because a lot of people hold seminars, webinars, I guess you call them, on StreamYard. So.
okay, cool.
Mhm.
I will tell him that.
Okay.
And then, like, you have a whole community of people around the world. How did you develop that networking?
Well, I've been live streaming for maybe 5 years in
Oh, okay.
terms of talking to people in general. I mean, I've had my show since forever, but I mean, in terms of hanging out and actually meeting people online, there was a breakthrough platform called Blab, where
I
a
remember
lot
that.
a lot of the people who are in other cities who drop in on me or who I mentioned, very often I met them. If they're not in Durham or Chicago, I've met them on Blab. Hey, Curtis! Oh my God! Thank you so much. He's giving me compliments. Yay! The Let's Hang Out section and the music. Yes, absolutely. So there. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, so Blab. I think Curtis, did we meet on? I don't think we met on Blab. I think I met Curtis through Tachi. And I think I met Tachi on Blab. But a lot of my out of town online friends I've met through Blab. And then when Blab shut down, we kind of scattered looking for different platforms. So there was Fire Talk and there was Huzzah and there's
Get
so many. So
vocal.
Get Vocal, yes. And yeah, so a lot of us still connect with each other and support each other and help each other out and just hang out and just remain friends. Like Curtis and Tachi had me on their show on what was today? On
You were
Thursday.
there
On
yesterday.
Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. But they have a show called And We're Live. Look for that. It's on Facebook. And that was really fun. So they invited me to come on the show and talk about photography, videography, and live streaming. And so, yeah, so Curtis is awesome. He also helps Tachi with her Mediascope show on Wednesdays.
Curtis is, I think you said he's the sort of quiet,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
The quiet storm.
and the quiet storm, and Tachi is the like exuberant
Yes.
voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched her a couple times when you
Oh,
were
good.
on too. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is, like I said, this is really, really fun. I think it's worth it for just hanging out. A lot of people just are just plain lonely. They want to talk to somebody, Just like it finally occurred to me. Now, I was supposed to have gone to Boston earlier this year for a conference. And of course, I couldn't go because of COVID-19. So I had bought my Delta Airlines ticket. Delta told me I could use the ticket later as long as it's before November. And I've been talking to my sister real casually. Yeah, I'm going to come see you. And then I realized, it finally dawned on me, I can't go see her because of COVID-19. I mean, I can hop on the plane and go to Chicago. But yeah, we haven't seen each other in months. I mean, I know I don't have COVID-19. I don't go anywhere. But who knows what I'll pick up on the plane. And my sister has a compromised immune system. She's a cancer survivor.
Mm.
So I realized, it finally dawned on me yesterday, I can't go.
You have to look out for your family, not just
Exactly.
yourself and your friends and everybody else. That's why it's so dangerous to go out.
I want to say hi to Crystal. she has Warrenist, the Warrenist. If you're interested in Warren County in North Carolina, she's it. So definitely check out Crystal. And in fact, Crystal, we're supposed to be testing out StreamYard. She got a new phone and she was excited because StreamYard now made it possible for people to start their shows on their smartphones and their tablets. It used to be computers only. So now you can whip out your iPhone or she has a, what do you call those, Samsung? You could whip out that rascal like Captain Kirk and start a show.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw that rig you showed Tachi yesterday.
Oh yeah, my camera rig made out of PVC pipe. Yeah.
Well, is that for like panning around, or is that how it works?
Right, because too often you see people who, especially if they're new to videography or live streaming, when they move around, the camera's like going all over the place and you get dizzy. And it's like, whoa. You know, because the camera, I mean, it takes, you have to be really
steady.
You have to be mindful of what you're doing with the camera when you're moving it. So if you have a rig on your shoulders, and that keeps it nice and steady. Nice and steady. And then, of course, you can pan down and up and tilt down and up and pan left and right, all that kind of stuff. So Crystal, if you want to join us, that would be awesome. Test out your new phone, because we're supposed to be doing a test run anyway this week. So no pressure. So Jesse, what's going on with the gear, Friends of Gear Cemetery, which, just real quick, people might not know, that's the historic Black cemetery here in Durham, North Carolina.
Well, let's see. I guess I should give a little history of it.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, the Gear Cemetery was used as basically a city cemetery for African Americans and mixed race people, starting possibly before 1877.
Wow.
And then in 1877, which is the end of Reconstruction, it was sold to a community of African Americans in Durham that was headed by 3 prominent leaders. So I think one was Edian Markham, and one was Julian Carr's half-brother. I can't think of his name. Gosh, I will think of it in a minute.
Okay.
But anyway, so, and one other gentleman who I think came from a church near the Crest Street neighborhood, which is still there.
Okay.
And so I think what it was like 3 major Black churches at the time. And they were, very formative in the formation of Durham as a city, as a, highly bustling industrial city.
Mm-hmm.
And so we estimate 3,000 burials. We were only able to document 1,500 since 1908 burials in the cemetery, but because it existed probably before 1877, it may have hundreds of years of burials there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a major historical monument in Durham, and it's just it's starting to emerge as with the recognition it deserves.
That's good.
And there's a Friends of Gear organization that has a Facebook page, Friends of Gear, and they also have a listserv, which is a Gmail address, friendsofgear@gmail.com.
Okay.
And so, if anybody's interested in getting involved, there are people doing history research, ancestral they're going to the genealogy records and learning about the lives of the people buried there. So it isn't just a cemetery, it's also a collection of African American history from this triangle area of North Carolina. So it's very, it's fascinating, and hopefully it's going to be a part of the deconstruction and reconstruction of American history.
Wonderful.
Inclusive, yeah.
I love that, and I really appreciate the way you all just lovingly keep it tidy, because I think for a minute it was kind of unkempt.
Yeah, there were a lot of vines and creatures that lived there, so that it was not inviting. And now for people to go and sit, and now like Eagle Scout put down Chapel Hill gravel on the lane through the cemetery, and he put up benches there so you can sit and meditate, and the vines have been kept down. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. How about that? That's good to know. And I love the fact that people are appreciating this sort of thing, and also history. And also, Black history is American history. And I'm very appreciative again that you all are doing that. And I want to get involved as well. I actually have a couple of my relatives, as far as I know, in there.
Have you been to the there's a cemetery survey website that has like a list of burials, so you can find the names of your.
It would be Atwater for sure, but I think
yeah.
But also, my cousin Julia, I think her relatives are buried there too. Her last name is Chap. They're the people from Chicken Hut. Yeah, so I need to get some names from her. And look that up as well. I want to say hi to Fraser. He was just giving a beautiful tour. I couldn't stay long, Fraser, because I had to start this show. He's in Edinburgh, Scotland, and boy, it's so beautiful. I don't know if you've ever seen Edinburgh, Jesse, but boy, oh boy.
I was really lucky. I went there one time.
You've been there? Oh my God.
I was like 16, yeah. So it was a long, long time ago, last century. But yeah.
That's awesome.
So your friend Fraser lives there?
Yeah. He gives these tours. They're informal, of course. And he just shows us the best stuff. I mean, he makes Edinburgh the kind of place I want to visit. For real. I've been to Ireland. I haven't been to Scotland. But I enjoyed my little stay in Ireland. I went to Galway last year. And that was fun. That was for a conference. I hadn't...
Journalism?
Yeah, a journalism conference. A mobile. It's called Mojo Fest, and Mobile Journalism Festival in Galway.
Have you ever heard of 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓? 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓?
No, what's that?
That's a band from Ireland, and they have a song I was thinking of from Galway to okay. Anyway, David, he's not available. Next time I talk to you, or in an email or something, I'll send you a link to them.
Okay.
What is that? What is that song from Galway to what? From Galway to Graceland. Oh. And to visit the king. So it's about Elvis. Yeah, it's about the Irish Elvis connection, right, David?
I know there was one. Oh my God, really? From Galway to Graceland?
It's about a woman who leaves her husband, David is telling me now. So anyway, is it done by the 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓? Oh, okay. Richard Thompson. Okay. Never mind.
But still. So Fraser, I think he wants to join in. So I just posted the link there. So you can just pop in if you like. Now, after being Saturday, what are you going to do today, Jesse?
I'm going to walk the dog, and then I'm going to do some more research and talk to some people, and then walk the dog again. have some lunch, do some more research, talk to some more people, write something, and walk the dog again, and then dinner time, and then that's it.
Cool. What I plan to do is take a little walk, do some grocery shopping. I ran out of food, so do a little grocery shopping. Maybe make some cornbread, because I did promise to make some cornbread for my elderly friends. My play aunt, in fact. What else would I do today? Oh, finish up this book. I think I'm on the last few pages. My friend Howard Burchett wrote a book, and so I'm in the last throes of finishing that off. So I should finish that today. And then what else? I don't know. I want to do something creative. So I might design something. I'm not sure. Fraser's here.
Hello.
Fraser, what's new?
Yeah, just taking a walk around my city because it's having a quiet day. Nothing too bad. So,
Yeah. Where are you now? Whoa. Hello. Uh-oh. Fraser, come back. Oh, shoot. Well, it says device is not connected. Well, he's out and about, so you know how that is when you're outside. You never know what kind of signal you're getting. So he's still in the green room, but it says not connected. So let's just wait for him to reconnect. He might be in one of those, inaccessible spots.
Can I share my screen? Yeah,
Sure.
I can.
Sure.
So I was just wondering if I could, what was I doing? Oh, show you the link to the list of people buried in Gear Cemetery while you were waiting for Fraser to come back.
Actually, he just disappeared, so he might try later. So yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, but I have to find it first, so that's going to take a second.
I'll take another sip of my apple mango. Oh, he's back. Okay, so while you're looking, let's bring back Fraser.
Sorry, I had a phone call at the wrong time.
Oh, okay. Ooh, what's that? What's that behind you? It looks like a church. What's that?
That's Scots Monument behind me there.
Wow.
So that's when Edinburgh was on lockdown completely. Streets were completely dead. No traffic, no people.
It's amazing how quiet it is. I mean, Edinburgh is a major city. Ooh, you got double-decker buses.
Yeah, it's kind of getting.
Snap.
It's kind of getting busier. It's slowly picking up. I mean, things are starting to open.
Boy, is it beautiful! What's the temperature?
I can't check at the moment. It's not really, probably about 59. It's not really that. It's not warm. It's not. It's not.
It's pretty though.
It's warm enough for just. It's a bit. The wind when it gets cloudy, it gets a bit chilly. But this is.
It's so pretty.
This is St Andrew's Square. This is.
That's famous.
This is where they had recently. Now, just the reason why they put to educate everybody here, they have put this up for a reason. Okay, this was put up because recently they had there's obviously around the world you get your Black Lives Matter protests. Now they were protesting here, but they had anti-protests regarding because obviously a lot of monuments have been damaged and taken down due to the history and things. So this is to basically educate in a way to say at the top of this neoclassical column stands the statue of Henry Dundas, the first Viscount of Melville, 1742 to 1811. He was the Scottish Lord Advocate, an MP of Edinburgh for Edinburgh and Midlothian, and the first Lord of the Admiralty. Dundas was the contentious figure provoking controversies that resonate to this day, while Home Secretary in 1792 and First Secretary of State for War in 1796. He was instrumental in deferring the abolition of the Atlantic slave trade slave trading by the British ships was not abolished until 1807. As a result of this delay, more than 500,000 enslaved Africans crossed the Atlantic. Dundas also curbed democratic dissent in Scotland and both defended and expanded the British Empire, imposing colonial rule on indigenous people. He was impeached in the United Kingdom for the misappropriation of public money, and although acquitted, he never held public office again. Despite this, the monument before you was funded by voluntary contributions from British naval officers, petty officers, seamen, and marines, and was erected in 1821, with the statue placed at the top in 1827. In 2020, this plaque was dedicated to the memory of the more than 500,000 Africans who enslaved was a consequence to Henry Dundas' actions. So the reason why they put this is so that it didn't get vandalised because of what he actually did, because a lot of statues had been removed due to the slavery connections. Hence the
they put them way out of reach, though, didn't they?
just in case.
Boy,
there is a lot of statues.
How do you get up there?
Yeah, exactly. There has been a lot of statues in Edinburgh that have been actually vandalised with graffiti, which is it's a shame because it's history and it's. I know it may not represent the best, but it's part of the views of places where people come to view. So it's just it's good to get the scenery. I understand why people maybe are defacing it a little bit because of what they represent, but that was then. This is now.
I don't know about Scotland, but you've seen pictures. It's almost comical how after the protests are over, and it happened in North Carolina as well, where white people would tiptoe in under darkness of night and scrawl Black Lives Matter, to actually discredit the protesters.
Yeah, it's a shame how it's all gone around. It's a shame how it happened and how it started and how it's no easy way to talk. You can't really no easy way to talk about it, and it's going to be very sensitive to some people.
I understand. Yeah,
it's difficult. It's been obviously before that scenario happened, and I'm not going to obviously go over old ground, but.
I appreciate you showing us that because I don't know if I'll ever make it to Scotland, but
hopefully you will. There's another statue here for you, just for something different. It's James.
Oh wait! Let me see those red things. Are those phone booths?
Phone boxes. Yes.
Cool.
Phone boxes.
What's this?
Our statue. It's James Clerk Maxwell. 1831 to 1870.
Okay.
So this is George Street.
Okay. How about that? We're in Edinburgh.
Yes. So if I give me a second, I'll walk up a bit.
Okay.
And there's a Tesla. There we go. I will show you. Wait a minute. So that's a church there.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
I'm going to show you something very quickly.
Oh, let me give you the whole screen.
Okay. Sorry if it's a bit windy as I'm walking.
That's okay.
Just if I can get to it.
I love the huge tiles, your sidewalks.
The slabs could be better. There's the dome. This is a sort of restaurant bar. Quite nice.
That's really old. What's with the tropical trees in Scotland?
Exactly, I don't know. Obviously, the palm trees. Get the bells going.
Ooh, nice.
I'm about to show you this.
Is awesome.
Hang on a minute. So you can touch base with your heavy metal. There we go.
Love all.
There we go.
I've heard of Hard Rock. I've heard of that.
Yeah, Hard Rock Cafe, Edinburgh.
Love all, serve all.
There we go. So there's Edinburgh. So this is Edinburgh. Anyway.
Edinburgh. Yeah.
But anyway,
Excellent.
I'll let you get back to it with your guest, and I'm gonna go and return this phone call because I need to return. So it's about work. Okay.
Oh, definitely take care of your business. Okay,
yes,
Fraser.
Anyway, take it easy. Have a good one. Speak to you
Okay,
soon.
cheers.
All the best. Bye.
Okay, take care. That was fun. Wow, Edinburgh. So you were looking
Yeah.
So you were looking for something to share your screen, or?
Oh, yeah. So I found the link to the cemetery census, and I put it in the chat here. So if you want to, you can get it there. Or I could share it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. See if you can share it.
Okay. So let me put it on. Let's see. Share screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's do this. Oh, shoot. Now, how do we do this? Oh, okay.
I've actually never shared my screen before, but
it says to use Firefox. I'm not using Firefox. Should I?
Ooh, we'll try it anyway and see what happens.
Okay. Heck? Let me see.
I mean, if you mess up, then you just click on the link and rejoin me.
Okay. There we go. I think I can do it. Can you see that?
Ooh. Yeah. Add to stream. There, boom.
Okay, so there's the entrance. And right behind that sign, this sign here. Mm-hmm. So see, it says 1877 to 1944. Right back here is the lane that goes back into the cemetery.
That is so nice. It was not like that at all when I first moved here. That is really beautiful. Who made the sign? That's beautiful.
Durham Marble Works, the person who owns Durham Marble Works donated that. Nice. And William McLaughlin is a bricklayer. He did the design for the bottom part, and then Durham Marble Works, which is also the same thing as Wake Monument Company, they did the top part. Beautiful. And the gentleman who works for Wake Monument Company is Wayne Tabron. He does this kind of thing. He does beautiful work. So it was nice. Yeah, the two of them work together. And I just want to, I'm sorry, I know you need to talk, but so here's where you can find the map to get there. And there's a little history of this cemetery, and then you can search for your Atwaters. So let's search for them right there. Whoa. Okay, so there they are, Atwater. Let's go down to, there they are. See?
Atwater, okay.
Annie.
Rufus is the one.
Rufus Atwater. Well, there he is.
Yeah, that S,
about.
That S shouldn't be there, but yeah, but that's one of my relatives for sure. The other two might also. They might also.
Anthony.
But I know for sure, Rufus, absolutely.
So Anthony might have been. Wait, let's see. He could have been. Well, he was 10 years old when Rufus was born, so I'm not sure. He probably wasn't his daddy, but. Oh, and there's Annie. She was a baby. And she. So, look, 1919. Isn't that when we had the other flu, the virus? I mean.
Oh yeah, the Spanish flu, and wasn't there a smallpox thing too? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is a lot of sadness there, but there's also a lot of.
Wait. Scroll down.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wait a minute. Let me see Atwater. Avery.
Oh yeah, the boys Avery.
The Boys and Girls Club was named after John Avery. Wow, stillborn baby. Oh my God, that's horrible.
So.
Okay. Yeah. So Rufus Atwater, I think that's the one that they called, because I've been going going through family papers and stuff, where they refer to Uncle Pink. And I'm like, who is Uncle Pink? You know? And then I found out Uncle Pink is Rufus. That's his real name. But Pink
Wow.
but I think maybe Pink, maybe he had a middle name of like Pinkerton or something. You know how a lot of families call their relatives by their middle names, not their first names.
Well,
So,
you're blowing my mind because I had an uncle. His name was Norman, and they called him Pinky.
oh, see,
Mm-hmm.
I had an aunt named. They called her Homer,
Oh, that's
and I'm
great.
like Homer's a boy's name, and then found out her real name was 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's kind of 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟.
Well, a lot of yeah, there's some stuff about how names were used to preserve families back in those days.
Oh yeah,
Like first
actually,
names were used. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and I know a lot of Southerners. A lot of Southerners at first people thought, oh, how strange that some people have names like Baker and Taylor, and as middle names. But a lot of times, Southerners at least would give their maiden names to their children as their middle name. So, in fact, I have a friend named Scott. So his name is Charles Scott Roberts, and I think Scott was his grandmother's maiden name. Something like that.
Wow.
Just how they preserve the name. In fact, I was named after my grandmother and great-grandmother. So my grandmother, so my grandmother's nickname was Pat. They called her Pat because she had red hair, and I guess that's a stereotypical Irish feature. I don't know.
Okay.
So they called her Pat. And her real name was Beulah, so I'm glad they named me Patricia because Beulah is really old school. So her mom's name was Ann, so Patricia Ann.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
So
and you're Patricia Ann. Patricia A. Murray. That's your name.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Originally, my name was Ann Claire Murray. So I actually have two.
Ann Claire Murray?
I have two birth certificates. What happened was, Pop was at work when I was born because I came early, like preemie, and so he couldn't get off work right away. So Mom went ahead and named me, and he said, he said, this one's mine. But she got to name the first one. So
that's great. So you were really personally claimed by both your parents very seriously in a deep way. That's wonderful. God, I wish I had that.
Yeah, so she named me Ann Claire, and Pop said, no. So I have a correction to my birth certificate. So Patricia Ann. So I mean, that's cool.
I love that kind of information. It's just so interesting. Go ahead.
People need to write, my sister told me to write down all these little stories. People need to preserve these stories. For example, it might be forgotten through the years. For example, that, let me get this right. Speaking of Scott again, he has a younger brother named Robin. It's funny I'm mentioning Scott twice in one day, but when Scott was a little kid, his mom delivered his baby brother, and he was allowed to name his baby brother, and he was a great fan of Batman and Robin, so he named his brother Robin. So I don't know how many family members know that, but that's the kind of thing you want to write down because that's such a fun family tidbit.
Yeah.
Just like we almost named my little brother Michael, but decided on David. Michael was that guy. There was this TV show where this man would give people on the street $1 million, strangers, and then I don't know if they were really strangers, and I don't know if it was really $1 million, but the TV show was all about how the people spent for $1 million. And the guy's first name was Michael. So we almost named my little brother Michael. Then we decided the last minute, no, David is better. So we named him David. And gave him my father's middle name, which was 𝗕𝗧𝗬. So his name was David 𝗕𝗧𝗬. So, yeah, this stuff needs to be written down. And families, just like little tidbits, you know?
People used to keep like a family Bible with all this written down in it.
Yeah, I've gone through our Bibles. I found some good birth and death dates for sure. But my aunt, what gave me the idea to do this is that my aunt had a little spiral notebook. And she just jotted down just little things that she remembered, you know? And just amazing, just little tiny stories that don't really matter to the progress of mankind, but just really fun, just little tiny stories, which very often, hey, Barb is here. Hey, Barb. Yeah, what was the name of the show, Barb? I think it was called The Millionaire, if I'm not mistaken. It's something like that.
The one with Michael in it.
Yeah, he would give away like $1 million. Boy, what would
I'd
I
like
do?
to get that.
I wouldn't mind getting $1 million right now. I could
But then
definitely
there's
use it.
so many people that need it. I would end up giving it, all away because.
And not all of it. Come on now, get some new shoes or something.
Yeah. I definitely.
I would pay for my niece and her husband's college bills.
Nice.
That's what I would do if I had $1 million for sure.
Where did Barb go? Where did Fraser go? Where did everybody go?
Well, Fraser had to answer a phone call.
Oh, okay.
He has his own business. He runs a cleaning business in Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, every now and then he shows us some of the challenging jobs he takes on. And he does beautiful work. So he's a one man, if I'm not mistaken, he's a one man business. He cleans offices and homes, and he's always in demand, so he must do good work. So
does he do like specialized cleaning, like after a flood or something like that, or?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he does that, but I know that he does a lot of properties that were derelict. Because the last job he showed us, there was like a dead mouse or rat or something. And I would quit at that point. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, well, there are those brave people.
Oh, here it is. Yes, Barb says it was called The Millionaire. See, that was like my brother was born in 1960, so I was 4 years old. So I don't personally remember The Millionaire. My sister, who's older, told me about it. I might have seen it. I'm sure I've seen it. I'm sure
if it's on YouTube. There's a lot of old TV shows and stuff on YouTube.
It probably is. There's so much great old stuff on YouTube. In fact, I don't even bother with television, and I haven't for quite a while. I watch YouTube and Facebook. And Pluto. Pluto TV is great because I like Dr. Who.
Pluto. Okay.
And I do subscribe to Disney Plus. Okay. But I have a Roku device, so I don't need regular TV. It started in 1956. Okay. Yeah, who needs TV when you have YouTube and Roku? I don't know if you know about Roku.
And plus, we have a Roku TV, and also plus, like you were saying, the library.
Oh yeah.
With all the discs, DVDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God, do you remember videotapes when they were new? Oh, okay, never mind.
I still have videotapes. Sure, I have a whole library of movies and stuff on VHS.
So do you still have a videotape machine that works?
Yeah.
Cool.
Every now and then, but what's really sad, I noticed that videos that I have made or other people have made on VHS are kind of unwatchable now. The tapes deteriorate.
They get grainy. Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate because my aunt left behind a couple of VHS tapes, and they were unwatchable. It's really sad. Yeah.
You mean like important family history things that?
Like Witted. She taught at Witted.
Oh,
and
golly.
she had this tape from the 70s with some of the kids in Witted and the teachers.
And is it still? I mean, is it still at all?
It's kind of like, it's like the tape deteriorated in spots. So like you'll see an image and then static and then image and static. So it's not like straight. You can't watch it straight through because apparently it probably deteriorated. Like if this were a videotape, like a whole section of it is probably all the way like rotted or whatever tape does, and demagnetized all the way through. So as it goes around, then you know.
Have you contacted the Durham Preservation Durham about that? Because they might be able to do some kind of restoration work, especially if it's about Witted School. Preservation Durham.
I'll contact them.
Okay, preservationdurham.org, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll look into that. And also, they'll probably not do it this year, but you know, every year, this is a nationwide thing. There are venues that show vintage movies. They invite you to bring your old family tapes, and you can bring your what's it called? 8-track
tapes.
No, the 8. What do you call it? Millimeter.
Yeah.
A Super 8 and 8 millimeter and all that old stuff. And they have all these different machines, and you can actually sit in the audience and watch other people's old family movies. I think they screen them now because probably a naked person probably accidentally showed up, but now they want to pre-screen before they show everybody, because you don't want to accidentally, you know, whoa, see someone's birth or
yeah, want to have it a family show, right?
Exactly. But yeah, they do it it's throughout the entire country, maybe even the world, where this one day is set apart for people, because I have tapes that I can't watch, that I don't know what's on them, that my aunt left behind, and there's those real skinny, like reel-to-reel tape.
Oh
things.
yeah.
And I don't know if they're viewable. Maybe Preservation Durham would be somebody I need to contact to see.
I don't know, but I think Tom
White House. I know you're talking about Tom. Is White something like White House or White? He puts on these old movies in the park.
Oh, we're talking apples and oranges. Yeah, I don't know about this.
Whiteside.
Oh, he puts on movies in the park?
Yeah. He's a vintage video guy. Maybe I'll contact him. I bet he can help me. Because I actually found an old reel-to-reel tape. Apparently my grandfather, who was born in 1885, so we're talking about a really old guy. So he was interviewed by a North Carolina Central University student, I think for their dissertation or special project or something. And I had always heard about this 1971 interview. I'd always heard about it, never saw the dissertation or whatever was written, but I found the tape recently when cleaning up my third bedroom. I was painting my third bedroom.
I remember. Yeah,
so I found this old reel-to-reel tape. I'd love to see my grandfather being interviewed. Oh my God. Because that 1971, that's a long time ago. That would be considered historic.
Oh, dang, don't tell me that.
No, what I mean in terms of historical value.
Yes, you're right. It was a long time ago.
Because you know what would be really hip if the Museum of Durham History, if they were able to like show that to people. Because he's talking about his life, I assume.
Tom Miller is who I was thinking of. Yes.
I don't know that one. Okay.
Tom Miller, I think, is now he's either the director or the acting director of Preservation Durham. He's very involved.
Oh, anyway. Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
And he's also an important member of Friends of 𝗕𝗓𝗓 Cemetery. So
good to know. I'd like to meet him because I used to. They used to be in the Snow Building. I believe it's called the Snow Building. Yeah. And I used to run into them every month because I used to just, when the Skywriter was in print, I'd see them every month and I knew them by name. And when they moved out of downtown, I totally lost contact with them.
And now they're back.
They're
in the
back downtown now.
Chesterfield building, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I need to reestablish my relationship with Preservation Durham. I did list their weekly walking tours, which of course they can't have now. But that was my only connection to them. So I need to, I want to give them a call.
And there's another person I'm thinking of that's on LinkedIn who is in charge of the manuscripts collection, the Southern Historical Collection at UNC.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a big collection and they can digitize videotape and other, so you might want to get in touch with him.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll give you his name as soon as I can. And any documents or anything that you have, they would love to add to their collection if you were willing.
Actually, all of my papers, so to speak, my family didn't throw anything away. So I'm talking about stuff going back to
that's great.
The late 1800s. I mean, just crazy stuff. Even like my mom's report cards.
Oh, wow.
From the 1930s. Anyway, all that stuff is at the Durham County Library now.
In the North Carolina room?
Yeah, they made a collection out of it.
Beautiful.
So, and I just found my my uncle's birth certificate. So he was born in 1927. So that needs to be added to the collection. I don't want that sitting around the house.
Is that somebody who's related to Rufus Atwater?
Sort of, in a way. The way the Atwaters are related. So my great-grandfather's mom was assaulted. And so he was the product of, so he's half white, half black. Then they escaped and went to Chatham County, where she married. Now, the white man's name was Atwater, but then when they moved to Chatham, she married a black man named Atwater, and they had kids. And so Rufus Atwater is not directly related to me by blood, but he was the stepfather of my great-grandfather, if you know what I'm saying. So his siblings were not really my direct relatives, but still I claimed them because my great-grandfather wasn't Atwater. So not by birth, or blood rather, are they related to me. Uncle Pink and those people, you know, not really, but still. I mean, they were in the same household. So family's family, you know what I mean? Even though it's not by blood, but still family.
Your story is reminding me of Polly Murray's story. Do you know about the Polly Murray project in Durham? And
sure.
Okay, so you must know Barbara Lau.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I took a course with Barbara Lau called Documenting Durham, I think it was, way back in 2003. Anyway, that's how I got. Yeah.
I need to get back in touch with her too. In fact, what I want to do this year is to reestablish my relationships, because I kind of let people fall by the wayside. You know, it's just so hard. Now that I'm online, I don't really see people. So it doesn't occur to me to contact them. And then you look up and 7 years have passed. It's like, oh my God. It was so different when my paper was in print, and I would literally go to everyone's office delivering the paper, you know? So I need to fix that. That's going to be my new project for the year. Reestablish my relationship with everybody. Yes, I'm going to do it.
Okay, good. Do it.
So, go ahead. I was going to encourage people to follow you if they're interested, or at least to follow the Friends of Gsr Cemetery if they want more information on that very historic place. And what is it? Friends of Gear on Facebook?
Yes. So if you just search on Facebook for Friends of Gear Cemetery, yeah, they have a
Okay.
page. And I have a group which is a little more personalized and sort of, I don't know, it has my bent or brand or something on it, which is, you know, that's not really ready for public consumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the 501(c)(3) does have a Facebook page, and it's
Awesome.
very informational.
Okay. And, you know, a lot of cities have old black, actually just old cemetery. I mean, I was
Raleigh
shown.
has the Oberlin Cemetery, for example.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah,
know that. So a lot of cities have old, overgrown black cemeteries. But I was going to say, I was visiting Kittrell, North Carolina, and I was shown this old cemetery that was kind of overgrown. It was not a black cemetery. It was just a regular standard white cemetery, and it was kind of overgrown. So I think that people like you who love history, who reach out and grab people to help tidy up and take care and adopt these important sites are very much appreciated. And I think more people need to do what you're doing, you know, regardless of race, because some of these old cemeteries, like Gear Cemetery, are no longer really in operation in terms of accepting new bodies. And so people forget about them.
Yeah, cemeteries are sort of like history from the bottom up, because there's a saying that history is the story told by the winners, and songs are the story told by the people who lost the battles. Which, of course, my family likes a lot because they were a bunch of musicians. But which is wonderful, and I appreciate it, and I'm thankful for. But unfortunately, I haven't had the time because I have to work so hard. But anyway, blah blah blah. But I did study history, and my message for the world is that historians and journalists need to communicate, work together a lot, because
absolutely,
journalism is a very hard job, very specifically oriented job, and journalists don't have time to research history. So historians should just, you know, make that information available.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
We would greatly appreciate it. And also, I'd like to see college students get involved. I think I told you this before. I went to Talladega College in rural Alabama, and there was an overgrown black cemetery. And the freshman class, the freshman class sociology students are rather social. This was before I got into my major, so I guess it was your general social science class, like 100 kids, you know. So we were thrown in the back of trucks, and we went to the old black cemetery. Our job was to tidy it up and to learn the history of the people who lived here before we arrived. And it meant a lot to me because my family's actually, on my father's side, from Talladega. So that meant a whole lot to me. And I still have some bamboo that I took from the, in fact, I still have it here somewhere. Where is it? I moved it. I tidied up. I can't find it. But anyway, yeah, I would love to see colleges do that, where they have their history or social science students to learn about the history by tidying up the old grave sites, learning the names, noting the dates, and that kind of ties you to the community, you know, once you learn more about it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love it that you have the bamboo. The bamboo.
Yeah.
How did bamboo come to the United States, I wonder? Do you think it was
I think
indigenous?
I think it just grows in the South, doesn't it? Because I had my next door neighbor, Mrs. Randall. She was from the New Orleans area, but actually she was from Mississippi, but near New Orleans. Can't remember the name of this city. But anyway, she would bring bamboo from New Orleans. She had it growing in her backyard. So I think it just grows in the, at least in the hot parts of the country. I don't think it was imported. It's probably just like palm trees. It's probably just kind of naturally grows.
Tropical plant.
Mm-hmm.
And because kudzu and wisteria, they're invasive species.
Very much so. But we have a lot of bamboo. In fact, in Chapel Hill, I was DJing for someone affiliated with UNC Chapel Hill, so they have their own like hangout spot, like a kind of like a private club kind of thing. And I DJ'd over there, and on the property, they had bamboo that was like that thick stuff that you see in Asia. I mean, like 2 inches in diameter.
Wow.
I was amazed.
Wow.
I was amazed. And, even here in Durham, we have a lot of bamboo growing in Durham, lots. A lot of it is real skinny, but some of it is, got substantial width to it.
Yeah, where I grew up, there was a lot of bamboo, and me and the neighborhood kids, we used to eat the bamboo shoots, pull out those.
Oh, yeah.
That was, yeah.
Making Chinese food. But, I have watched a lot of videos. The people in Southeast Asia are making houses and sheds and just all kinds of great stuff with bamboo. It's just amazing to see. Not that I plan to do that, but you can make fences with bamboo. You can really make good, sturdy fences with bamboo. The secret is hey, Colleen is here.
Hello?
She's on YouTube. Yeah.
Hey, Colleen. Oh my gosh. I worked with you at Measurement Incorporated. Do you remember me? Okay, anyway.
She said when cemeteries are central in communities, she said she walked through one to go to the library. She said it creates a connection to the past and sobers those who walk through there. Yeah. I always saw those scary movies where the people walk through the cemeteries at night. I'm like, why are they doing that? But I guess if it's part of the community, you don't think of it like that, Actually, where I was born on Minerva, 66th and Minerva, and there was a cemetery right at the end of the block, and we didn't give it a second thought. So I guess it's not a big deal, and it really is a part of the community.
There was a cemetery out where I grew up in the woods, the Pickett Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗧, I remember 𝗕𝗨𝗟, I forget her last name right now, but she had a headstone. And, it was a little family cemetery out in the woods. The only way to get there was to walk about 10 minutes into the woods. And I would go there with my dad when I was little, just 5 years old or 6 years old. And so when the wind would blow and it would be like one of those summer storms, and I would stand in front of the kitchen door, the screen door, looking out the window. Look out the door down towards the cemetery. I would imagine that the spirits would blow up from the cemetery up to our house.
Whoa.
It was
the imaginative child.
I'm an imaginative adult too, but yeah, I imagine disasters all the time. That's bad stuff. So don't go.
Do that.
No, got to stop that right now. Anyway, yeah. So cemeteries since then, they've kind of captured my mind in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why 𝗕𝗓 Cemetery. In fact, that's why we bought the house next to 𝗕𝗓 Cemetery, was because I liked living next to a cemetery.
Interesting. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm crazy. But anyway, that's
cool. Like I said, I appreciate what you do with 𝗕𝗓 Cemetery, because when I first moved here, it was unkempt and run over and overgrown. And it takes an awful lot of work to, not only is it tidy now, but it's beautiful with the sign and everything.
Oh, Keep Durham Beautiful did a lot of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's an organization. They do a lot of things. Like, you know, they donate flowers and trees and bulbs. Oh, you were saying, yeah, the other day you were saying
They
about
just
the
gave.
bulb.
They just had a huge lily bulb giveaway. So
Yeah.
they're hard to keep up with, but they do a lot of really wonderful things. For sure.
And when it was like a jungle full of wisteria, poison ivy, and kudzu, and also English ivy, Trosa did a lot there. And God, they worked really hard. I mean, that place was a jungle.
That's amazing they did it by hand, because I've seen people use goats for the same purpose.
Oh, that's so smart.
That's a lot of work. But yeah. Actually, you know, the area across the street from Durham Central Park was very, very much overgrown. And somebody hired some goats from Chapel Hill. A herd, I guess you call them, of goats. I made a little video. It's one of my first videos that I made on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I used copyrighted music and everything. I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, you let them loose, and they eat absolutely everything. You know, and then they move the ropes. Like they confine them to one spot. They clear it, the kudzu, everything. They just eat everything down to the ground, and they poop as they go along. So you watch your
That
step.
is so ecologically sound.
Well, just don't step in it. And then they move them over, and they keep moving them over until the whole place is clear. So
you know what, Pat? You are an inspiration. I mean, your brain is firing off on 47 cylinders or something, 50 cylinders. Yeah, and you get my brain firing off, and then I go in 47 directions. When I watch the video of what we talked about, which has happened 2 other times, I look back at it and I say, oh, I missed asking her that question, because you bring up so many topics that I miss. Dang it.
You can always
else asks you if I don't.
You can always ask questions. You can always drop in the Bull City Hangout. Absolutely. The invitation is open. And also Colleen provides me with so much info. It's not even funny. I'm serious.
Is she still here?
She's watching on YouTube. The link is on the Durham Skywriter Facebook page, Colleen, if you'd like to join us. But boy, oh boy. In fact, we're talking about, I'm not going to divulge the topic, but boy, we're going to be working on a really cool historical project real soon. It's going to be so exciting. She's brilliant, extraordinarily community-minded, and she's always looking out for Lowe's growth. Oops, did I give it away? But anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we're talking about a very interesting historic project, because there's so much. Durham is really not that big to me, being from Chicago, but boy, does Durham have an awful lot of history, and it makes me think that every city in Durham, or town, hamlet, whatever, village, probably has a lot of undiscovered history. Because some of the history is bad, and so people prefer to just, sweep it under the rug. But be it good or bad, I'm sure every city, every village probably has a really, really interesting history.
Well, and who is telling the history determines what they tell.
You're absolutely right.
People tell different histories, and
that's why it needs to be put together, because, in fact, I was going to write to the Hungarian American Club of Chicago. I know that sounds crazy, but I grew up in Chatham, in Chicago, which was a white community. It was a white Catholic community, mostly Irish, but there's some other folks in there as well. And when we started moving in, they immediately took off. 2 white families remained on my block, the Ramseys and the Franks. And the Franks were Hungarian. And believe it or not, Mr. Frank, I can barely remember him, because I think he died when I was just really, really small. I only remember him. He showed me this newsletter that he was publishing, and I was amazed. that he had this newsletter, and it was for the Hungarian American community in Durham. This is way back in the early 60s. And I was going to write to the Hungarian American Club because I was going to ask them if they remembered Mr. Frank, and if not, somebody needs to look him up. And some people just should never be forgotten. They're like pioneers. And he really loved his Hungarian community. And I really think they need to look him up and remember who he was. Just like I was reminding a couple of people who were Puerto Rican in Chicago, don't forget Carlos Uribe Ruiz, because he was a powerhouse. You know what I mean? So it's like there's different stories, there's different groups. The trick is, how do we put them all together? You know, to form one, because I'm sure the Chinese community in Chicago, they probably have a bunch of amazing stories. The people from Mississippi probably have amazing histories. There used to be a Mississippi club in Chicago, Vicksburg. That was the place where a lot of Black people came from in Chicago, Vicksburg, Mississippi. There used to be a Vicksburg club. I don't know if they've been remembered. I don't know if their history. I don't know where their papers are, because it was an official club, you know. So
Vicksburg, like the Battle of Vicksburg?
Well, that's also the name of the town.
Oh, okay.
They probably had a big battle there as well. But yeah, I mean, every place that you go, I'm sure has history, as lived by, like Jews. Durham has always had a Jewish community. You don't hear about them much. I'm sure they have some wonderful stories, but I don't.
Leonard Rogoff wrote a book. Well, Eli Evans, who was actually, I think, mayor of Durham in the 50s or 60s, wrote a book called The Provincials about the Jews that came to Durham to roll cigarettes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then Leonard Rogoff wrote another book about Jews in the South called Homelands.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the first temple, Jewish temple, I think it was on Roxborough and Main Street, or in that area. Yeah, I mean, how many of us know that? Oh, Colleen is saying one set of her Irish relatives disowned another family for marrying an Irish Catholic. I thought they were Catholic. I thought Irish. Oh, there's Northern Irish Protestants. But anyway, there's always an abundance of people who want to hate other people for whatever reason.
Feuds.
Anyway, I'm going to go take this walk before it gets too hot.
Okay.
Let me see what the temperature is, because I don't want to explode out there. It is currently in Durham, North Carolina. Wow. So when I started the show, it was 81. It's 88 already. It's 88.
Here we go.
I think I'll just do some grocery shopping and I think I'll go to Walmart and just do some laps around the store, because it's air conditioned.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
With my mask. Did you know all of the Walmarts and Kroger's throughout the entire United States, they require you to wear a mask now? It's the law. Well, I don't know about law, but you have to wear a mask. Yeah.
That's safe. That's how we stay safe. That's how we protect each
I think
other.
they got tired of seeing all those Facebook and YouTube videos of people throwing fits. And there's this one lady, she sat in the middle of the floor at Costco.
I saw it.
I was like, lady, come on.
A little spoiled now. Don't act like a baby.
I know.
Throw down on the floor and kick your legs. I'm sorry, but
I think Colleen is an Irish. Doesn't Colleen mean girl? I think, I'm not sure, but I think Colleen is definitely a beautiful Irish name. So she had some high class English Irish in her family. That's probably the people who live in Northern Ireland, I think, because I think they were in with the British people, which was the whole reason for the Troubles. You know. So anyway. Be that as it. Like I said, people always find a reason, won't they?
I'm trying to think of a song. I just want to sing to you a little bit. I just want to sing Carol Burnett's Goodbye Song. Do you remember Carol Burnett's Goodbye Song? Together, we could sing a song or
Something
have
like that. Yeah.
a dance. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long.
That was great. I can't believe you remember that. That's from way back. Wow. Well, thank you, Jessie.
Dating myself. All right, I'm going to go, and you can say goodbye to everybody. All right.
Okay.
It's been great talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, Pat.
Take care.
Thanks.
That was so cool. That was really cool. Hanging out with the folks. So again, I want to extend an invitation for you to join me on Bull City Hangout. As you can see, is very casual, and it's a good way to dip your toes into live streaming, see what you look like on camera, because it's fun. And even if, like me, you look goofy on camera, it doesn't matter because God only, you only get one face. Deal with it, work with it, whatever. Have a beautiful weekend. I will see you Monday at noon. Ciao for now.